Today I'm gonna react to the Bernie Sanders video where he talks about the Arizona state election right now with the candidate Adelita Grijalva. Adelita Grijalva. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correct. So Grijalva is running as a Democrat for the Democrat Party in Arizona, and Bernie Sanders in this video is going to talk about how he endorses her. I haven't watched the video yet, but based on the title alone, I can see that's what he's doing. And I'll give my perspective on the video as well as I watch it.
Hello, Arizona. It is hot here in Washington, D.C. I suspect it's even hotter in Tucson, Arizona. If you haven't already, please make sure you get out and vote for Adelita Grijalva in the special election for Arizona.
So Arizona is having a special election uh, for the next for part of the state legislature. So Arizona state legislature, and it's a special election, and of course she's gonna have to run in the general election as well. But there's a special election to try to endorse a progressive candidate. In this case, Adelita Grijalva is a progressive candidate. I have heard about her. I saw some videos about her on TikTok. Her policies are pretty progressive, more left leaning, and is that what we need our government to be more like? No, not it's still not Democrat socialism yet, but at least we're getting there. We're trying to at least make the Democrat Party be at the level of a social democrat. So basically, social democratic party. That's a big minimum to then become a Democrat socialist party. That's pretty much the goal.
In the 7th district ahead of the July 15th primary election.
So keep in mind the primary election is on July 15, 2025. So if you're a resident of Arizona and you're eligible to vote, make sure you vote for Adelita Grijalva. Okay, keep that in mind. She's more progressive than the other Democrats, so you kind of want to focus on that. If you want to make changes, if you like the way Trump has been doing things, if you like corporate Democrats, you do you. But I do recommend people to choose more left leaning as possible types of candidates. That's what you really want if you want to make a positive change in the U.S. government system and political system in general.
Alita understands that real change never comes from the top on down, it's from the bottom on up.
I agree with Bernie Sanders on that. I know people want things to change all the way on top. They want the Democrat with the highest position in Congress to change things from the top, and so it can triple down all the way below, triple down economics, which does not work, by the way. So this obviously is not the case. In most cases, you have to start from the bottom, right? Like I did in state government. I started as a trainee, and now I am where I am today. Got two promotions within 4 years, and I currently have my job, but I had to start from the bottom. And I made some changes in this position compared to the last person that was in. I was able to do more positive things with it, which is nice. Smaller things that it's a big deal for the general public. In this case, the same thing. You got to start from the bottom. Local elections, state elections matter a lot. So if you vote for progressives in those elections, it makes a big difference. Once it comes to making an amendment to the Constitution, it matters a lot when you have left-leaning people in your state legislature and governor. Same thing in the local election for people who are mayors and stuff. That all connects. So take those things seriously. Take voting seriously.
A local official, she helped spearhead the first free preschool program for low and middle income families.
That's really nice. Preschool is very expensive. Pre-K for a lot of people they have to pay out of pocket. So be able to have free preschool program for low and middle income households in Tuscan, Arizona, it's a good thing. And people who don't have so much money shouldn't have to pay so much. That's why you have people who are higher in the tax bracket. They should pay more. Someone making 400K a year should be paying a lot more than someone making 50K a year as a household, 100K a year maximum as a household. You get what I mean? That's the whole point.
Champion historic investments in affordable housing.
These are all the economic policies that a lot of Republicans claim they would do for the constituents, and they never do. They never pass them. Yet you have Democrat socialists and some progressives in the Democrat Party who want to pass affordable housing, who want to increase the minimum wage, not just the state minimum wage where you live in, but also the federal minimum wage. They want to make housing something that you can afford as someone who's not a high income household to be able to get your own single family home if you would like to afford one, to buy one someday. Republicans don't do that. The Republican Party, look at Trump and his administration, they don't give a shit about the general public. They don't care about their constituents. Look what's happening in Texas. All the gutting of the National Service, the National Weather Service, NC, and all the FEMA and all the NC departments that needed to keep people safe from natural disasters, because Trump has basically signed a law that Republicans passed in Congress, signed a bill into law that was the one big beautiful bills that was passed in Congress. Now there's less budget, less funding, if those agencies will even survive in a year from now or less. It's very sad, and people are just dying. Tax is a good example of this. Fraud is having their own issues. It's really bad.
In Congress, Adelita will be working with me in the fight for Medicare for all, for bold climate action.
Medicare for All is basically universal healthcare based on a single payer system, which means that instead of having private insurance only, and you have to work for an employer to be able to have some type of private health insurance, or you got, you know, get lucky to get something affordable in the free market for health insurance, you don't need that anymore. As a taxpayer, you already have universal healthcare where everyone contributes, so everyone can have their dental, um, eye, the dental care, the eye care, or vision care, the medical care, everything you want, simple program. The one that Bunny is trying to pass will include everything. It will include dental, will include vision, and not just medical. So keep that in mind. It's more expanded even what many countries like Canada and some European countries have. So that'll be really great. It would just take to make the rich and the wealthy, the multimillionaires and the billionaires, to pay more so that we can have this in an easier way.
Action for strong public education and
Climate change is a really important issue right now. It's been impacting us for the last century plus, and nobody, in terms of majority of government authorities, have really listened to the scientists. And this is why we have such bad natural disasters and other issues. Keep that in mind too. And education matters. It's been shown statistically speaking that people who are more educated, people who have bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and especially PhDs, tend to be more left leaning once it comes to voting for whoever they want as the representative in government, whether it's local, state, or federal level. So education is key to anyone who might be misinformed or uneducated about their rights and how the government works. Education really helps. The more education you get, especially in the government slash political field, the more you understand how the government works and the more you comprehend about your rights. It all connects. This is why Trump is trying to dismantle the Department of Education, NASA, and all the agencies that all are pro education, pro science, because it educates the crowd. And an educated populace does not vote for Republican. Higher people who really are more educated tend to vote less often for Republicans and more for Democrats. And if you look at who votes for Republicans, low income households who tend to be uneducated, people who have a high school diploma or less, people who ally in the trades, blue collar work, even when they in a union, even though Republicans hate unions and they destroy unions, you have a bunch of people from IBEW and all the trade unions voting for Republicans, even though the Republicans take away their union rights, take away jobs from them, and outsource the jobs. It's an unfortunate situation.
an economy that works for all of us, not just the 1%.
I agree.
Let me be clear. Adelita is the progressive candidate in this race. She is not backed by corporate PACs or billionaire donors.
That's important because the corporate PACs like APAC and big individual donors are not good. You really want to try it as much as you can if it's feasible to avoid voting for someone who literally has a bunch of billionaires and multimillionaires donating to the campaign. You know they're not there for you, but sometimes the best option is the lesser two evils, unfortunately.
She is backed by tens of thousands of ordinary people fueling a grassroots campaign. The Democratic primary is Tuesday, July 15th. That's next week.
So keep that in mind. Tuesday, July 15, 2025. So that's next week. Vote for Adelita Grijalva. Adelita Grijalva. Keep that in mind.
It's Tuesday. If you've got a ballot, please fill it out and return it today. If not, come on out and vote on election day. It's a very important election. Let's elect Adelita Grijalva as the next congressperson of the Tucson area.
So I was wrong earlier. I thought this was for a state legislative position, but she's actually running for Congress position. Um, I think for maybe the House of Representatives. So I apologize for that. So just keep that in mind. Vote for her. It's a special election. It really matters.
Thank you very much.
Well, I hope that she does win, but you know, very hard to know. I want her to win, but knowing how things went in some state elections and also recent special elections that happened in Florida with the still vote for Republicans into Congress again, I don't know if things will change in Arizona that much. If young people really want to make a change, go vote. That's a bare minimum. That's a lot of times more effective than none than just protests. If you do a conjunction, like if you do if you conduct protests in conjunction with voting for progressives and Democrat socialists into the Democrat Party, so they can be part of, specific into Congress, state legislature, governor, mayors, etc., positions, you make the biggest change. Honestly, voting would be the biggest and most important thing you can actually do to improve things right now. And people still don't do that. And normally, people who are protesting out there are the ones who normally vote. So you can have millions of people protesting, but those are usually the regulars that will vote. I'm not worried about them. It's the 89 million people who didn't vote in November 2024 that I tried really hard, been trying to convince them, hey, really try to take voting serious this time if you care about improving your lives and the lives of the people you love personally, like your family, wife, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, sisters, siblings, uncles, grandparents, etc. That's important. Just let you guys know, this is from the YouTube channel of Bernie Sanders. This one 1 day ago. It was posted back in July 10th, 2025. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you agree with Bernie Sanders' endorsement of Adelita Grijalva. If you don't, let me know why. And if you do, let me know why. Let's talk about it. Maybe we had a debate. We talk about the pros and cons about her and how her candidates may or may not be worse than her. I believe she's the best candidate uh, for that special election, but we will see. All right, guys. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Watch this to follow us on TikTok. And again, you can support us with the Patreon, $1 per month. All right. Have a good day, guys.